All right, what's up, my brothers? Got a reach request here. I think we're almost at reach number, I don't know, 30 or 31 as far as the requests go. So let's hop straight into it. It's an anonymous one, and I'll post this publicly on the channel for community feedback. Let's just see if I can make an adjustment here to make this. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. Anonymous, he says, "Hey Richard, try to give you the necessary details and not to be too broad without writing an essay." It's a bit of an essay, but I've already kind of breezed through it, and there's some good conversation that's going to come out of this. So I want to share this one with you guys for sure. Anyway, long story short, this guy's always done well with girls. He's had the girl that everyone else wants to have without losing too much sleep over it or making it a focal point, and he wouldn't put too much effort in. I do take care of myself, always in shape, a man, but not a male model type. I've always been told I'm very masculine. I do lead the pack in my groups, be it friends, work, social circles. People want to be around me. So he's got a strong opinion of himself. Again, so he's saying, now the issue that I want is a non-emotional, non-involved third-party point of view. So that's what I'll give you. I mean, I just hold up the mirror and point to some facts on it and let the dots connect themselves. So let's do that, and we'll get everybody's feedback towards the end of it. See if we can do this one in a little bit less time. Okay, now the issue. Okay, met this girl a while back. She's a showstopper by anyone's standards. I'm going to guess a showstopper is like a 9 or a 10. Among having her own business and being very successful at her job, she was also a model for fun, which she gave up so it wouldn't bother me. Never asked her to. She felt it was her duty. That's interesting. She is traditional in the sense that she enjoys being feminine and empowering her man. She would get upset when I wouldn't let her cook. When I wouldn't let her cook after she just flew in to see me because she felt like she needed to take care of me. Yeah, she's definitely very traditional. Her boyfriends were always very well off financially. When we met, she made double what I made. She would often pay for things just to enjoy spending time together, go on trips, dinners, shows, etc. When it was hard for me to compete with the money she was making. I've done my fair contribution, wasn't a mooch, had a good job. She was just making much more. She said she doesn't mind at all because she knows that if I would have made more than her, then I would have paid. Okay, blah, blah, blah. She places more value on sentimental things rather than money. That's always a good sign. A woman that is attentive to experiences versus things, you move them up a notch. You know, they get a little bit of a promotion if you're vetting them for any kind of purpose. She's a great contrast. She is a great contrast. Loves hikes, doesn't mind sleeping on the floor in Cuba, but will rock a pair of Louboutins in an event like nobody's business. All eyes on her. Okay. She's very loyal, super traditional, would shut down any advances from other males in the most ruthless way possible. She also is very jealous and would become very vicious if any female tried to make an advance towards me. She wants a family. She doesn't want any outside interference and would chase off with a vengeance anyone who would dare invade our relationship space, regardless of if it was somebody hitting on me. Okay. A little bit of feedback. You're starting to paint this picture of a unicorn, a llama unicorn, if anything, and they simply don't exist. But we'll keep going through before we summarize it. So after you guys meet, I had just moved to DC following a job promotion. She lived in Colorado. We saw each other every other week. Lots of money spent on plane tickets to facilitate this. The idea was to put my time in and then transfer my company to Colorado. My company didn't have any jobs available at the time in Colorado, so she found me through her hookups. A similar but not with the same future perspective as my company. I rejected it. Then I received another promotion in California that I could not refuse. That boosted me to making as much as her and a big step in my career. She got very upset that I didn't move to Colorado, claiming that she makes plenty of money for us both, and she found me a job already that I did not want to chase her or our future family. Okay, choose her or our future family. Interesting. I explained the benefits of working hard and how we can enjoy our family later, and making some sacrifices now that will pay off in the long run and allow us time for freedom to enjoy our family. I'll also never live off someone, and I would rather involve both of us. And yeah, you don't want to put yourself in a position where she's going to look down at you. Women want to look up at you. They want to look at a giant. They don't want to look down at you at some point. They might pretend that it's okay early on, but they'll get very tired of it very quickly. I promise you that. I'm a man, not a housewife. She would not hear any of it. She felt betrayed. Okay, fair enough. I mean, you're holding strong with your position. She's trying to get you to compromise. I get it. Now the tough part. She has leukemia. She was doing well with her medication, but it stopped working recently. She said she would even quit her job just to come and be with me. I told her that is absurd and would not allow her to destroy her career by doing something stupid like that, nor do I want to be the reason for her to hear about it and lead an argument. Okay, I asked for more time, wanted 2 years for my job, and then I'd move. She said she cannot keep doing the long distance thing. Oh, okay, so you're in a long distance relationship. The long distance relationship! Oh boy, I've talked about this before. You can search on my channel, Entrepreneurs in Cars Long Distance Relationship. I've done at least 1 or 2 talks on it, so the tags will be there. They'll definitely show up. All right, I don't get it. She's not hypergamous with me. Quote quite the opposite. Quote quite. Okay, unless you want to say emotionally needy, maybe. But then again, she's been proposed to 4 times and she's rejected all 4 guys. Even found proof of it being true after doing some digging myself to confirm. But she would do anything for me to propose to her. She is obsessed with me. I would be asking questions as to why. Why is she obsessed with you, my friend? Okay, let's keep going. There's obviously going to be more here. I would marry her for her qualities. Listen, guys, marriage is not a good idea in North America. I mean, if you're going to marry up and across to a woman that's got more money, then you're going to lower the risk a little bit. But let's keep going. I mean, I've talked about marriage before. I think she would make a great wife and mother. I really enjoy her and love her. So if you're going to marry a woman, I mean, if that's your goal, fine, okay. You're taking the big risk. You're going to want to do it for the purpose of reproducing and raising children together. That's really the only reason I could see behind it. Really enjoy her, love her. I feel that she wants to rush and live all these experiences, love, marriage, kids, because she feels like she's running out of time. Oh yeah, there it is right there. There it is right there. She doesn't want to talk too much about it, but there would still be some options to make sure she lives a long life. I knew about this from the very beginning. She was always behaving this way, so it's not necessarily because her recent drawback of medication not work anymore. We lived or held back because of her leukemia and lived as if it wouldn't exist. We are now broken up, theoretically, which means we are still together but haven't seen each other in a couple months. We talk daily. Okay. Long distance relationships. I'm going to say it again. I've said it before on the channel, guys. A relationship requires touch. It requires physical intimacy. If you haven't seen somebody that you're in a relationship with for fucking 3 months, that's not a relationship. That's a pen pal. I don't know why any guy would limit themselves in a sexual marketplace to somebody 3,000 miles away because of a chemical emotion in your head that they call love, right? Anyway, so you're broken up, you talk daily. She wants me to choose her. I'm telling her I don't want to choose. I want both a successful career and her. I don't know if I should move on and remove myself from the situation or hammer down on her and make her accept my focus on my career and make her do the long distance thing for a bit longer. Listen, guys, you need to be your own mental point of origin, and you're maintaining that frame, which is good. She needs to enter your frame and be a complement to your life, not the focus of it. And by you accepting her demands, women normally communicate in a covert way. When they go overt, it's because they have a lack of options. It's called like the talk sort of thing. And then when they come at you with that, it's basically a declaration of powerlessness where they're coming from. Not a good position to negotiate from her perspective, but from your perspective, you're basically saying, look, this is what it is, suck it up. You're broken up now. Anyway, I want both successful, clear in here. I don't know if I should move on or remove myself from the situation or hammer down on her or make her accept my focus on my career and make her do the long distance thing for a bit longer. She said I have no balance between work and family. That's a shaming tactic. I've done a video on shaming tactics before on my channel. Again, search in YouTube, Entrepreneurs in Cars, shaming tactics. I told her now is the time to be tough and to make something of ourselves so that we can reap the spoils later and not have to worry about anything and just enjoy. See, you haven't vetted her properly for a family. If you're going to vet a woman for a family, read Sean Smith's The Tactical Guide to Women. In the description of all my videos, if you scroll down towards the bottom, there's my recommended book reading list. Sean T. Smith, he's a clinical psychologist, wrote a book about this. I've mentioned it before. I'm sure you've heard about it, so I'm not going to bang on too much. But honestly, I don't think you know enough about this woman to properly vet her for a long-term relationship. Sean said that usually women can act or put on an act for at least 16 to 18 months. So if you haven't known her for at least a couple years on an intimate basis, like you guys live in the same town within, you can see each other on a regular basis, not every 3 months, for example, you're not in a good position to vet her. You're dealing with a representative. What ends up happening quite often in relationships, especially when women are ill, they've got some kind of sickness, maybe it's terminal, they've got baby rabies. You're dealing with a representative. You're not dealing with the real person, and they're putting on a little bit of an act because they want to they want to get a certain outcome. They want to encourage you to do certain things. So there's some acting that goes on. You just have to accept it. You may deny it, but again, you want a unbiased third point of view. You're getting it. Anyway, I feel like regardless of how this will end, I will lose. We may stay together. She may get sick and die, and I lose terror. Well, you can't. Hold on a second. Listen. She's not yours, it's just your turn. We may stay together, she may get sick and die, and I lose terribly. Listen, buddy, okay. Nothing is forever. The only thing that you're guaranteed in life is death and taxes, and that's it. And if you're choosing to be with a woman that's terminally ill, and you want to raise a family and you want to have kids, there's a little bit of a disconnect between those two things. Why would you choose somebody that's potentially going to die in the next few years? I don't know how bad her illness is. I mean, you said her medication's not working, which leads me to believe she's on the decline. You're not picking good wife stock. I mean, you're talking about picking wife stock here, basically, which, I mean, I don't agree with wifing somebody up, especially wifing somebody up for these reasons, I think is incredibly bad. Comments below, guys. You're watching this. Let them know what you think. Anyway, we may break up quickly, and I lose out on the one. Oh, here we go. The fucking one-itis. There it is right there. And her health might improve drastically. There is no one. There's just women. There's good women. There's bad women. There are no llama, unicorn, perfect ones like you think. Again, you're dating the representative. You're not with her on a regular, consistent basis to vet her properly. Let's keep going. I'm sure there's more. She doesn't just want a family. She wants it with me. That's what she's telling you. Do you know how many women have said that they want to have kids with a man and just that man, but that man and her break up or they go their separate ways or it runs its course and there's another man that comes along and she tells him the exact same story, the exact same set of lyrics that she told you 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it is. Those are just lyrics. Just understand that that's all that it is, okay? It's like I had a coaching call with this guy the other day, and he married this woman, and she didn't want to have kids, and she wanted to be in an open relationship. And, he's concerned, she doesn't want to have kids, and why doesn't she want to have kids? I thought we wanted to have kids together. And I'm like, no, you're not listening to the words. She's 30 years old. What she's saying is she doesn't want to have kids right now with you. That doesn't mean that that she won't change her mind in 4 to 6 years or something like that and wants to have kids, maybe with you or maybe with somebody else. But what she's saying right now is she doesn't want to have kids with you. So you have to kind of go a little bit beyond your ego investments in this so-called long-distance relationship. That's what I'm going to call it. It's a long-distance relationship. Put that shit in quotes, right? Anyway. Okay, she could get someone else in a heartbeat, get all those things, but again, she wants it only with me. I could easily get somebody else for the same reasons who would wait and do as I say, but I wouldn't do it with anyone else except her, as I see her as the most fit person to occupy the role. No, you don't see her as the most fit person. You haven't vetted her properly. I'm going to say it again. You have not fucking vetted this chick properly. It is impossible for you to vet her properly based on what you've told me here. In this, unless I'm missing something and you lived together for a while, or you guys were in the same town for at least a couple years together dating, you haven't had the opportunity to vet her as the most fit person to occupy that role in your life. You're fooling yourself. I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyway, we're both very experienced when it comes to the opposite sex. Maybe that's why we appreciate and hold each other in such high regards, because we are past the bullshit. Should I run as fast as I can? Should I fight and force her to accept my way in hopes? Okay, run as fast as you can. Maybe. Hard to say. Again, conversation like this, if you're kind of vetting more for a long-term relationship, I do a one-on-one call. It's set on clarity.fm/Richard Cooper. Best way to kind of go back and forth, because I have questions. Should you run as fast as you can? Based on what you're telling me, I wouldn't capitulate. I would not fold and go her way just because of her demands or an illness or the distance. You haven't vetted her properly. The illness, baby rabies, or any of those things should not be a reason to wife somebody up. It's always a bad move and quite often ends very, very badly. Anyway, next question. Should I fight and force her to accept my way in hopes that she will appreciate it later when the results come in? Yes. Yes. Hold firm. If she wants to be with you, I mean, you basically laid out who you are and what your life plan is. She's either coming along for the ride or she's not. If you give up what you've created to go and make her the focus of your life, to move to a place that you can't earn the kind of living that you want to earn, especially to raise a family, that shit's not cheap. Yeah, firm on that, definitely. Next question. Am I going to lose in any possible outcome? Yes, you're going to lose if you wife this chick up right now to placate her. Definitely. That is not going to end well. You have not vetted this woman correctly. Anyway, I tried keeping emotions out of this as much as I could to give a fair display of facts rather than emotionally influenced opinions. Joining your website, thank you. I'll leave a card up on how you guys can join the private men's community. We have a private Facebook conversation. We have premium videos that are listed monthly for you guys, and monthly live Q&A sessions in a hangout with just me and a handful of you. So if that's of interest, $10 a month. Again, the link is at the top right. The card just went up. So my final take on this, my friend, is one, vet this woman properly if you think she's wife material or wife stock. And there is no way that you can potentially do that unless you've spent a couple of years reasonably closely. I'm not saying you need to live together, but you date on a regular basis for a couple of years. You don't go 3 months spans where you don't see each other, for example. It's impossible to vet somebody for a long-term relationship in that fashion. It is just not feasible. You cannot do it. You can't do it. Stop doing the long-term relationships and convincing yourself that it's possible. I'll say it again, guys. You're masters of two things: complicating your life and then justifying why you did it. I know you've heard me say that again, but it bears, speaking of again. So with that being said, if she wants to be a part of your life, you set the terms. Again, she compliments it, is not the focus of it. If she wants to join you there, that would be the best thing to do. As far as her illness, okay, she's gorgeous. She's a showstopper. I get it. But what good is a showstopper if she's going to be 6 feet under in a casket in 2 years? How are you going to raise a family? Your kids are going to be motherless. You're going to be widowed. You're not going to be, a very useful or high value man on the sexual marketplace if you've got, children from a dead mother and 2 or 3 in tow. I mean, I'm not really sure what your goal is here. I know you've got one-itis because you said it. She's the one. She's not the one. There's so many ones out there. There's not just the one, this llama unicorn. You're convincing yourself of something that is not true. Again, in the list of recommended reading that I have for my books, you can read The Rational Male. I've recommended Rollo's work a number of times. He discusses, one-itis in his book. And I think if you have gone through it, you should go through it again. If you haven't gone through it, read it through a few times. It's like drinking from a fire hose. There's lots of great stuff in there. There's lots of good stuff on my channel. I don't think there's much else that I can really say to you. I don't think it's a very good idea. Guys, leave a comment below for this request. Let them know what you think. Again, private men's community, the card went up on the top right. I'd love you guys to join. See us over there. There's lots of premium stuff. There's also a join button now that YouTube added to the channel. It's right by the subscribe button. So if you don't want to get into the men's community and pay $10 for those perks, I think YouTube set it for $4.99. There's a community tab and you'll get access to some premium stuff over there that I'll put out from time to time for you as well. Again, thanks for checking out today's video. If you have a reach request similar to this, it's just reach.me/Richard Cooper. You can make that request. It's basically like sponsoring a video. I'll record it, upload it, and you'll get some feedback from the entire community. See you guys later. Peace.